that raising children comes with these challenges. But what happens when parenting and educating goes wrong? In the most trending and the most talked about Netflix series Adolescence, we get a peek into the difficulties parents and educators face when trying to balance their children's growth and development. Whether it's an overprotective parent or a strict disciplinarian, we see how parenting and educating can go off track in ways that affect a child's emotion and psychological well-being. And as we watch, it becomes clear that this isn't just a UK issue, it's something the whole world is dealing with. So today we are diving into the issue of parenting and educating styles and asking a few tough questions. Is positive parenting harming our next generation? Is there a perfect way to raise children? And if so, how do we find it? If you're new here, I'm Rachel. I grew up speaking 4 languages while also learning 2 more, and I've raised my child to be bilingual. If you want to know a little bit more, you can click on this video as I have shared about the secret of raising bilingual kids. Having lived in Hong Kong while East meets West, studied in France for a short time and moved to the UK, I've been someone who truly loves exploring different cultures. So on this channel, you'll find a lot of perspective on how to embrace lifelong learning, especially when it comes to language learning. It's also about embracing change and showing respect for other cultures. At the end of the day, I believe that we are not divided by languages, cultures, or even countries. We are all connected, all parts of one whole. Culture isn't just what we see when we travel, like food, clothing, transport, or language. It's also the things that we can't always see, like politics, education, mindset, and belief systems. And today we're diving into a big one: parenting and educating. In the Western world, particularly in countries like the UK and the US, we often hear the term positive parenting. This emphasis is on nurturing, empathy, and kindness. It's about avoiding harsh punishments and offering encouragement instead of criticism. However, some people who don't fully understand positive parenting might think it's about never saying no or doubting their children at all. As psychologist and author Dr. Gabor Mate puts that children need to experience healthy frustration and know that the world will not always adjust to them. In some Western systems, in trying to protect children from pain or struggle, we may unintentionally weaken their resilience. In the US and the UK, many schools are now incorporating social and emotional learning into the curriculum, which helps children build empathy and manage emotions, which is really good and ideal. But critics argue it still lacks the depth to teach real consequences or long-term character development. And while these approaches promote self-esteem and emotional intelligence, there's a concern that children may grow up without fully understand respect, boundaries, or the consequences of their actions. So the question remains, are we raising children who know how to respect others and understand their actions, or are we just raising them to expect everything to go their way without consequences? But let's look, on the other hand, Eastern parenting styles, particularly in places like China and Singapore, tend to lean towards a more authoritative and strict approach. Parents here are often highly invested in their children's success, with education and discipline being at the forefront of their values. It's about making sure that children follow rules, meet expectations, and don't step outside the lines. But while this approach ensures that children understand boundaries and the importance of hard work, it can sometimes limit their ability to express themselves or explore their own freedom of choice. I would like to share a very good example. Like in Japan, children are taught from a very young age the importance of community and collective responsibility. So you often see children cleaning their classrooms and serving lunch to their classmates. While there's discipline, there's also a strong emphasis on humility and cooperation. While in Singapore and China, academic success is often seen as family pride. But researchers like Yang Shao, professor of education at the University of Kansas, warn that overemphasis on test scores can kill creativity and intrinsic motivation. In many Eastern cultures, the concept of respect is deeply rooted, but it can come at the cost of child's autonomy. This too can have negative effects on children when they are too controlled. They may lack the emotional tools to deal with failure or handle their personal growth without feeling overly pressured. So, which approach is right? Neither, really. The key to effective parenting or education lies in balance. What we need is a combination of the best elements from both Western and Eastern methods. A parenting and educating style that encourage empathy, kindness, and independence, while also establishing clear boundaries and teaching responsibility. When parenting and educating become too positive, where everything is encouraged and nothing is questioned, children may not learn how to choose wisely. They might avoid challenges simply because they fear the discomfort that comes with them, and without knowing that it's okay to fall and get back up. How can they become resilient? Growth always comes with struggle, and we shouldn't raise children to avoid it. We should prepare them to face it with courage and confidence. At the same time, we need to place human values above academic achievements. If this is applied, this is going to transform the whole educational curriculum. This is going to change the whole world. This is not what once per week PSHE lesson can do. This is much bigger, as if we are rewriting the very foundation of how we raise and educate future generations. It's about emphasizing empathy, curiosity, emotional intelligence, and a sense of global citizenship into the fabric of every lesson, every classroom interaction, every school policy. Because when we truly prioritize human values, not just as an add-on, but as the core, we don't just prepare children for exams, for winning a football match, we prepare them for life, for relationships, for a world that desperately needs the compassion and understanding more than competition and comparison. It's a shift from producing high-performing students to nurturing whole human beings. And that kind of transformation, it can't be boxed into a timetable. It has to live and breathe in everyday rhythm of school life. Teaching children how to share, how to care, and how to connect with others, not just how to win, will help the world grow together as one. Education today often teaches kids how to rise to the top, how to compete, how to beat others, but competition, when taken to extremes, drives division and even war. What if instead we taught children that humanity is one big family, and that peace starts from understanding, not from being number one? I've been always thinking, there is football club, there is piano club, there is origami club, there is language club. Is there any values club? I don't know how we name it, but a club that help children learn how to share, how to be kind, how to be a good person in the world. Will parents pay for this kind of club? Will parents put this as a priority on top of any other academic-wise or competition-wise activity? Finland often gets praised for its education system, not because it pushes kids harder, but because it respects childhood. Finnish children don't start formal schooling until age 7. Homework is minimal, and there's a focus on play, nature, and equality. And yet, they consistently rank high in academic performance. Why? Because the system trusts children to grow at their own pace, supported by caring adults and a collaborative environment. Sir Ken Robinson, a leading voice in educational reform, once said, "We're educating people out of their creativity." He believes that true education nurtures diversity, curiosity, and compassion. not conformity. Right now, people seem to be walking on two extreme paths. One where we chase freedom without limits, and one where we push achievement without rest. But neither path leads to peace. In fact, they often contradict the values we say we believe in. If we want a peaceful world, our parenting and education must reflect that vision. But what does this balance look like in real life? Let's take a look at some practical examples. In the UK, some parents are now turning to gentle parenting, where they focus on helping their children regulate their emotions and understand the consequences of their actions without harsh punishment. Meanwhile, in parts of Asia, there's an increasing trend towards modern parenting as well, where there's a greater emphasis on allowing children more freedom and autonomy, though the focus on academic success and discipline still remains strong. When a baby is born and you ask the parents, what do you hope for your child? Most will say something simple and beautiful. They will say, oh, nothing big, really. I just want them to be happy, healthy, and a kind human being. No, of course, you never heard a parent say, oh, I want my child to grow up to be a high-achieving, ultra-competitive academic. No, rarely. And yet, somehow, that's exactly how we end up raising them. Let's be honest. Yes, we contradict ourselves, saying one thing but doing another. We push them through a system that treats childhood like a race. They are stressed from constant competition. They're exhausted, battling screen time, cramming in homework, and juggling expectations that don't even match our values. Let's take another example. In Bhutan, a country that measures its progress by gross national happiness, children learn mindfulness and ethics from a young age. The focus isn't just on achievement, but on emotional balance and harmony with others. Another example, like in the Netherlands, children are often ranked as the happiest in the world. Dutch parenting and education is known for being relaxed, supportive, and grounded in open communications. Kids are encouraged to speak up, but also to listen, to negotiate, not demand. It's clear that the pendulum is swinging in different directions around the world, but the question we need to ask is, how can we bring the best of both worlds together? When it comes down to it, the ultimate goal of parenting and educating is to raise emotionally healthy, responsible, and independent children. We want our kids to know how to handle challenges, deal with failure, show respect for others, and have the freedom to explore their interests. Parenting and educating are about finding that balance and adjusting our methods based on what our children need at different stages of their lives. Harvard Center on Developing Child states that resilience is built through supportive relationships and the opportunity to face manageable stress. That means we don't need to eliminate struggles. We don't need absolute positive parenting. We just need to walk beside children while they face it. Too much freedom without boundaries can lead to kids who don't understand the value of responsibility. On the other hand, too much control can lead to kids who feel trapped and anxious. So what do we strike that perfect balance? In the end, this isn't just about parenting or educating, it's about what kind of world we want to live in. What kind of people do we want to raise? I would say children who only know how to win will see others as obstacles. Children who know how to care, how to share, and how to stand back up when life gets hard. These are the ones who will build the future we all want to live in. Let's raise children who don't just strive to be the best, but strive to make the world better. Because peace doesn't come from the top, it comes from within. And it starts with how we raise the next generation. As we raise the next generation, we should remember what Dalai Lama once said. If every 8 years old in the world is taught meditation, will eliminate violence from the world within just one generation. Whether or not that's exactly true, the message is powerful. Teaching peace, compassion, and awareness matters just as much as teaching math or science. I know this topic is huge, and thank you for thinking with me. I'll be filming another video about placing values above academics in an upcoming video, and I want to emphasize that this is not just about parenting but also educating. I really want to go deeper into that topic. There's a lot to talk about. Every child is different, and no one-size-fits-all approach works for everyone. The best thing we can do as parents is to remain flexible, learn from both the successes and failures of parenting and educating styles around the world, and create an environment where our children can thrive, express themselves, and understand the importance of respect and responsibility. No matter where you're from, parenting and educating is a global challenge, and finding that balance is a universal goal. So let's keep the conversation going and share what works best for us. Because ultimately, we all want the same thing: happy, healthy, and well-rounded kids. What's your take on parenting and educating styles? Do you think a balance is possible? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more content on parenting and educating, cultures, and personal growth. See you next time. Bye!